Hi, and welcome to the 108th episode of Big Blue News. I'm your host, Cam.
And I'm Eric. Let's get right into the news. Yesterday, April 28th, 2026, at Swampscott High School, the town elections happened today, and we're here to give you the result of the elections.
The votes are in, and our new select board members are Wayne E. Spritz with 1,008 votes and Edward Joseph Dooley with 1,064 votes. Congratulations to these two for their achievement.
School committee has 3 new elected officials. Those people are Martha Caesars with 1,196 votes, Catherine Arrington with 981 votes, and John Jantis with 994 votes. Congratulations to those 3 for being elected.
The new elected town moderator has been decided, and with a whopping 1,153 votes, Ryan Bradford Hale is our new town moderator. Congratulations to Mr. Hale for his new role in the town.
Other board and committee members have joined us in the town as well. Debbie L. Friedlander was elected as the new library trustee with 226 votes. George A. Allen was elected as the new member on the Board of Health with 1,145 votes. That's all for the news. Let's head over to Joey and Alex at the sports desk.
Thanks, Eric. The boys lacrosse team is off to a decent start with blowout wins against Salem and Gloucester, but just went on a 3-game unfortunate losing streak against Burlington, Dracut, and Hamilton Wenham. They currently stand at 5-5.
Yikes. You know, that's actually a pretty good record, though, for the current season. I'm sure they got more wins coming.
It is great to see that they're tied rather than being at like a negative standpoint in their career right now, but we can only hope that they have a positive win-to-loss ratio as the season goes on.
Facts. All right, so the girls, on the other hand, have been amazing so far. They currently stand at 6-2, with each win being dominant by 5 or more goals. They just faced Danvers yesterday in Danvers with another dominant victory with a final score of 19-1. That's crazy. That's really good.
That is very, very impressive. 19-1. That's a crazy score. Props to them for being able to do that and with playing so hard that they're 6-2.
Honestly, I couldn't do that. Good job, guys.
In other news, the boys baseball team have had a great season so far. They're currently 6-3 and are ranked number 20 in MIAA rankings and are 4 games away from clinching playoffs. They play Danvers today at 4:30, so make sure to tune in on Swampscott Big Blue Athletics to watch the game.
Yep.
That is great to hear for the baseball team, 6-2. I remember, I think last year I had a few friends on the team, and they thought that they were like okay. They weren't as good as they are now, but it's great to see that they've improved overall as a team.
Yep, I'm sure they're really honing their skills there. It's great to see. All right, so the girls' softball team have been struggling so far, standing at 0-8, coming off a tough game on Monday, losing 11-6 against Whittier Tech. They play today away against Danvers.
That's
Yikes.
very unfortunate for the softball team, but we can only hope that they'll improve, and I bet that even later on this season, maybe they'll get their first win, and next season they could be a complete inverse, and they could be the team that's 8-0 rather than 0-8.
Oh, definitely. I believe in them, so I think they got that.
Yeah. In other news, the boys tennis team currently stands at 2-4, with most games being very close. Against Winthrop, they won 3-2 and lost against 2-3 for Linfield. They play again in Salem today at 4. That's like it's yet again one of those like negative standpoints. They're 2-4, which means they've lost more games than they've won, which is unfortunate. But they still have a chance to kind of recover and get back up into a higher standpoint.
Of course, and the 2 wins that they had is pretty impressive too. That's great. All right. The girls' tennis team are off to an electric start and are still undefeated with a record of 6-0. The girls have been dominant, facing Beverly, St. Mary's, and Saugus, which all ended in 5-0 blowout victories. They play again today at home against Salem. That's actually extremely impressive.
It is very impressive, very impressive. I remember in the past, I don't think we were in such a high ranking, or however you would say high win-to-loss ratio. We didn't really have that in previous years, because I know we didn't have that last year. So it's great to see how the people on the team have improved, all the freshmen who are now sophomores, the sophomores now juniors, the juniors now seniors. And even just with the incoming freshmen this year, it's been really great to see that turnaround.
I agree. Blowout wins are really impressive. That's crazy. All right, that concludes our sports segment, and back to the news desk with Cam and Eric.
Thank you, Joey and Alex. We got an interview from Martha Caesars prior to the election day. Martha Caesars is only serving a 2-year term in a respective committee.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tune in next time. We'll play this interview now.
Hello, today I am here with Martha Caesars, who is running for the school committee this year. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
And we just invited you here today at Big Blue News to ask you a few questions, with the first being, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to the schools.
Oh, well, it might be a long story, and you might have to tell me to stop. But I basically, when I graduated from college, I had the good fortune of getting a job teaching at the Stanley Elementary School. I was a 5th grade teacher, and I taught for 17 years in that classroom, and I just loved every minute of it. And during that time, I decided I really wanted to become a principal. So I got a master's in administration and kept working and joining all the curriculum committees and doing a lot of different things. And finally, I was appointed the principal of the Stanley School, where I stayed and loved every moment of being a principal. At that time, I also had my own family, and my children went to Hadley School, so I was very connected to the Hadley School. I was the PTO Cultural Arts representative. I was my daughter's youth soccer coach, and I coached all her teams. We won a championship. And then after about 5 years, I decided I wanted to see what it was like to work in a different kind of school. So I got a position in Hamilton-Wenham Regional School District. And it was a totally new experience because it was a larger district. My school was twice as large as the one that I came from. And I stayed there and did all kinds of things with curriculum and professional development, and loved every minute of that. And then I retired and went to work at a boarding school down in Connecticut, where I did research, which I thought was fun, but I really missed elementary school because I liked working with younger children. So I ended up taking a job at a small private school in Boston, where I worked for a number of years. And since that time, I've done things like mentor principals, I've mentored teachers, I help teachers become teachers by helping them fulfill their requirements to become certified as teachers in Massachusetts. So that's my sort of connection to schools. And a couple months ago, I decided I wanted to volunteer to do something to give back to this community that I love. And someone said, why don't you run for school committee? And I thought, I've never done anything like that. So here I am. I'm running uncontested, so I'm fulfilling a 2-year term for Amy O'Connor, who resigned as a member of the school committee. And I've been just getting out, getting to know as much as I can about the schools as they are now, compared to as they were when I was here as a teacher, principal, and a parent.
That's a lot of history, a lot of experience. That's great. The next question we had was, well, I think you've already answered this pretty much. Why are you running for the school committee?
Well, I said this to Mr. DeWitt. First of all, I never thought I'd be a politician. So this whole thing about talking about myself is very, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. I tend to want to find out about people as opposed to have people find out about me. But I thought that I needed to stimulate myself. And I also felt that I wanted to change some things that I feel could be changed about not so much the schools, although there's a little there too, but also about how we share information with the greater community about the schools. I think that this kind of activity is an incredible thing, a vehicle for getting the word out about what happens in the high school. But I think we also have to think about, as a school committee person, how we get the information out about our budget. And we're coming into some really challenging fiscal times, and we need to think about what we're going to do in order to work together to make sure this community stays affordable for both young and old.
And you've already ordered it. What are your priorities for Swampscott Public Schools?
My priorities for the schools, well, let me put it this way. My goal the last couple of weeks, and it will continue, is to meet as many people I can who work at the schools and attend the schools. And so part of it is I really want to get to know what's going on in the schools so that I can support the schools. So that's my priority, is to find out about it. My sense is from people I've met, I met with Mr. Kalishman, the superintendent, and I was incredibly impressed with his energy and his passion for the schools. And the things that I've been finding out from watching school committee meetings is that there are lots of wonderful, dedicated staff who works with the young people in our community. And I kind of knew that anyway, but I'm really finding it out again. So what are my priorities, did you say, for the schools? I think to support the teachers, to support the administration. I think to try to diminish this feeling of school people versus non-school people. And I don't know if you know what that means, but in the town, we have a budget. And what happens is that everybody pays taxes in order to fund the schools. And we also pay to fund everything else in town. And some people really question, like, why do we spend so much money on the school when we maybe need some money for fixing the sidewalks or cutting down trees or whatever else the town does for us. And so I would like to try to communicate better with the greater community, not just the parents of the school kids, but the greater community of Swampscott. So that's really one of my big goals. The other goal is, and I don't know if this is a goal yet, but I happen to be at the Fishtails. I don't know if you heard about Fishtails. And I also was at the Black History Month. And we talked a lot about acceptance of diversity and difference in schools and also in our community. And although we say we're very accepting as a community, there's always a piece of me that thinks that we need to do better than say we are accepting. We have to teach children to be accepting. We have to have parents respect one another. We need to have the adults in our town respect one another so that if some person states an opinion, that person isn't thought as a bad person. That to me is about acceptance. It's more than acceptance because of color or gender. It's the acceptance of people who have different ideas. So that's probably one of the overarching things that I want to happen in this town, in schools.
All right. Well, thank you again, Martha Caesar, for joining us today. We're very glad we could have you.
Thank you.
And back to the anchors.